Thank you, Dr. Taylor. As someone who treats ALS, people with ALS that has been involved in biomedical research and clinical trials for more than 40 years, including as the Mayo principal investigator for the NurOwn phase 2 and phase 3 trials, I would now like to provide my clinical perspective on NurOwn. As a clinician investigator, I also look closely on the aggregate data. While it is clear that not everyone responds to the treatments, there are clearly a significant number who do, and the response is very meaningful. I have clearly seen that some people stabilize in a way that I've never seen in any other trials. In fact, in the small number of people who participated in the expanded access program and received 6 to 9 treatments, there were people who stabilized while on treatment in the trial. In the interval before they were in the EAP, which was over a year or more in some cases, these participants deteriorated. They again stabilized in the additional treatment period. There were also some who improved their score from baseline, something that is rarely seen. And I should stress, other investigators who have been working hands-on with the participants in the trial have seen similar response. Let me give you a few examples of some of these changes in daily activity. These include walking without a walker, using the bathroom or showering unassisted, speaking more clearly, and breathing more strongly. These are huge. I can tell you that the value of any form of independence or stabilization for these patients is beyond words. And for these reasons, as a physician who cares for patients, I want to see NurOwn made available for people living with ALS. Cancer therapy would not have moved forward in the way it has without taking advantage of incremental steps. We have the same opportunity here. The sponsor is working on a phase 4 trial, but patients can't wait. As one physician, scientist, neurologist posted in the FDA docket for this meeting, 30,000 individuals with ALS will die while waiting 5 years for the results of another trial. There are thousands beyond me who want to see NurOwn available for people with ALS, each of whom is a person with a family where every day of life is treasured.
My name is Brian Wallach. I am joined today by my wife, Sandra, whose voice you are hearing, as ALS has robbed me of mine. We are testifying for ourselves. We have no disclosures. I want to thank CBER for allowing us to testify on video and to thank the members of the AdCom for their time on this critical issue for the ALS community. As a reminder, the only question before the AdCom today is, quote, has substantial evidence of effectiveness meeting the approval standard been demonstrated by the evidence presented, end quote. As a second reminder, the quote approval standard for ALS treatments is specifically outlined by the 2019 guidance issued by the FDA, which is as follows, quote, when making regulatory decisions about drugs to treat ALS, FDA will consider patient tolerance for risk and the serious and life-threatening nature of the condition in the context of statutory requirements of safety and efficacy, end quote. Notably, Dr. Billy Dunn recently stated at the start of the AdCom for another ALS treatment that, quote, for these serious diseases like ALS and so many other neurological conditions, the maximum degree of regulatory flexibility, the broadest flexibility in applying the statutory standards is operational. With respect to NurOwn, we believe that an approval is merited based on the science and the data that the company has shared with the public and with the FDA. With HIV and cancer, the first treatments that were approved did not work for everyone, but instead helped a subset of people with those diseases live longer. Today, there are 4 approved treatments for ALS. That being said, ALS is still 100% fatal, And so it is critical that we have treatments to create a cocktail that combined help us live longer to see a cure, just as we did with HIV and cancer. We have seen people living with ALS who are a part of the EAP and who have ALS FRS scores all over the map see real benefit from NurOwn. For some of them, it has halted their progression, and for others, it has actually been able to help them regain some function. This is not something you see in a disease like ALS. These results are further corroborated by the biomarker data that Brainstorm presented today. This data builds on what we saw with tofersen and provides critical insight into how NurOwn works, as well as who it will work for. There is only one right answer here. We just hope you have the courage to recommend approval. Thank you.